Howdy, today we're going to talk about how to be a dog. Howdy, I'm Dr. Alejandro.
And I'm Dr. Emily.
And as many of you know, we have 3 clinics on our first 3 years in practice.
If you enjoy our content, make sure you subscribe and share with your colleagues and future colleagues to get on the path to victory.
You have to understand how things are up here.
So, that's funny, but it's not funny at the same time. Let's start this. So, we basically went to a pop-up recently with Steph. And it's funny because people were asking how to get new patients. How do I get new patients? You know, I've been running this ads. I've been running that ad. It hasn't worked. How do I get new patients? How do I get new patients? Literally, I just raised my hand super humble and said it like, hey, like, if you don't have new patients, just go out there and start knocking on doors. You know, like, it's free. Basically, your time is not worth a lot right now if you're not getting new patients, you know? So why spend that money on ads when you can save it and just go knocking on doors, and that way you make that interaction with people one-on-one. We did that, and that's when Steph said, okay, you guys are dogs. Do you want to talk about that?
Yeah, I feel in chiropractic school, you think you know everything. You've got this big ego, even though you absolutely know nothing. That's where we were too. And then you graduate and you start to open a business and you know nothing about marketing. You know nothing about networking really. And you're like, how are these people going to actually fill my doors? I'm such a good practitioner. I'm such a good doctor, but I don't have people to come in to practice that on. And so at the end of the day, you got to put all of your ego, your pride aside, and you got to figure out how you're going to get people in your door. And I think still to this day, the old-fashioned handshake, getting your face out there, getting your name out there, going to different community events, and just being integrated in your community is still the best way to get patients in. Mm-hmm. We know that a patient who comes in our door as a referral is so much stronger than somebody who clicked on a Facebook ad or someone who clicked on a 100%. Google ad, right?
And it's funny because like Alex and Ali are on the clinic right now shadowing, and last week we had a new patient that came from door knocking 3 years ago. You know, so how do you keep up with those people? I know, like, we knock on the doors, we introduce ourselves. Even if they don't, you know, if they don't answer, we still leave them a paper on the door, because a lot of people are not answering nowadays with the solar panel people selling and all that. That's totally cool, you know. Yeah. But what do you do to keep up with those people? Because that was 3 years ago, and that person showed up last week.
Yeah, we were dogs, right? We were out there in this Texas heat. I remember one day we went door knocking. It was 103 degrees, and we still were out there sweating our butts off because we didn't have anybody coming in our doors. So we got to go out there and get them, right? So people who didn't answer their doors, if we left a piece of paper or whatever, that's fine. And then we try to get their address still.
How do you get their address?
So either you go to their house and you can just get their address from whatever. But let's say you meet them at a marketing event. You're at a Chamber of Commerce event, and so says, hey, I'm blah, blah, blah. You want to get their business card, or you can simply ask them, hey, I would love to send you something for just helping me answer some questions about the community. What's a good address to send that to you? And so we get their address, we get their contact info, we get their name, and we put that on a spreadsheet. At the end of the day, after we talked to this person, they helped us, learn more about the community of Abilene. We went home, we wrote a thank you card. Mr. Jones, thank you so much for sharing with us about the community of Abilene. I really loved your Texas Rangers jersey that you had on. A nice fun fact about them. Let you know you remembered them. You send that to them through the mail. They receive a handwritten card from you, Dr. Alejandro Elias, who's about to open a chiropractic office here in town. Maybe he doesn't need a chiropractor at this moment. Maybe his friend down the street just complained about back pain and migraines, and he's going to send that person to the person who took the time to write a handwritten card to him. And that's how we do it, because we're freaking dogs and we want people to flood our doors. And I don't care what it means to get that person into my door. I'm going to do it.
Yeah. And let's talk about the elephant in the room. Like, probably you're thinking that's stupid. I'm not going to go door knocking. That's stupid. Well, stay where you are. Like, stay broke, stay like spending money on ads on Facebook, and don't get new patients. And that's kind of egotistical on you, because like, if you go door knocking, probably that person is a chiropractor now, and you're just basically, your ego is not letting you knock the door, and that's why they haven't get the care. So just get uncomfortable, honestly. Like, it sounds super intimidating. The first 10 doors for us suck. After the second one, I told Emily, let's get on the car and leave. I was super discouraged. And she was like, no, we're going to do it. And we kept doing it. And that's when we saw the fruit of it. Our first month in practice, we saw 60 new patients. The 60 of them came from door knocking or going business to business.
That's right. And if you play by numbers, if you're a numbers person like me, you can say, okay, to get 60 people actually in your door, that doesn't just mean we knocked on 60 doors.
No.
We had to get denied probably 1,500 times to be able to get 60 people in our door. So you got to play big. The more people you can get in front of, definitely the more people you are exposed to, the more people are going to come your way too. So it's a numbers game also. Something else I wanted to touch just on like a personal note, and not even for business, but even just door knocking, getting to these community events, that's how we also like met friends and like-minded people, and people who we now know, like, oh, I know this guy for a plumbing service. I know this guy who's an electrician. These same people that we went around the community and door knocked to, they service our house. They sold us a car. They help us with daycare for Luca. Like, it's not really just even about building your business, but being integrated into the community, getting to know people at a personal level. And that to me is like just so valuable.
You're building your own community there.
That's right. Especially if you're new to the community like we were. If you're moving somewhere random to open an office and you've never been there, you have to go out and meet people.
What about if I'm open already? Well, if you're open already, let's suppose Tuesday is usually slower and Fridays as well. Just close those days. If you're in 2 hours, you're seeing 3 patients, just close. They can come Monday or Wednesday and just have the Tuesday to go door knocking, like it's not worth your time. If you're in the office and you have a patient at 8 a.m. and the next one doesn't come until 10 a.m., you're wasting your time basically. So in those 2 hours, just go out there and start knocking on the doors and getting uncomfortable.
And there's Saturday and Sunday, right?
Yeah.
You have 2 days of the week.
We did it literally 7 days a week.
Yeah.
And I remember I was new in town and I have a tattoo here in my arm and we're in West Texas. So I was literally in long sleeve, button down, just to look proper. And you were like, dude, you need to put a t-shirt on. And I just did it. And, I was being myself. And that's when people were talking even more to me. So that was kind of humbling.
That's exactly right. So hopefully you have that dog in you. We only look for dogs for Victory. So if you're a dog, please reach out to us. We want to help you open your business if you haven't already done that with a boom, or if you already own a chiropractic office, we want to help you just explode that and succeed. That way you can help as many people as possible. We have a Facebook page. It's called Path to Victory. We'd love to share our successes, share our failures and mistakes, and how we learn from that. So we'd love to have you guys be part of that community.